a group of approaches. Now, just to give you a hint about how messy the terminology is in qualitative analysis, the thematic analysis itself is a very messy term. It is used to describe the groups, all those methods which are looking for themes and patterns of themes. However, thematic analysis is also used as one of the methods in the group called thematic analysis. For distinction, for example, when Mark Saunders is writing about this, he uses capital T, capital A. So in thematic analysis, then it means the method. If it is with non-capital, then it means the group of methods. Okay, but it is kind of written exactly the same way. And very often with other authors who are not as disciplined as Mark, you just don't know which one they are talking about. So it can indicate three different things. The first is this group, the second is the method, and then the method has also variants. So there are many different ways to do thematic analysis, partly because it is not very much a kind of recipe style type of analysis. So it is a quite flexible method, but it is not unsystematic. So it is, let's say, I like sometimes doing things in unsystematic ways. That's not that relaxed, but it is flexible so that you can adapt it to various approaches that you are working with. So it is also very important that it works with different philosophical approaches. So I have seen thematic analysis done from the positivist to the interpretivist, anyone. Okay, so it does happen in a variety of approaches, and sometimes it is not even possible to distinguish whether this was, for example, thematic analysis or a kind of grounded theorizing type approach. But we will get back to that one later. Now, what is important and very present in the thematic analysis, it is that the process of analysis is acknowledged to be parallel and cyclic. So first of all, you always start with this indwelling thing. It means that you are becoming very, very familiar with the data. So you know your data inside out. You know who was talking about what. You can go back and forth between your interviews or observations or whatever these are. And then when you start the coding, you do all the coding. Okay, so you finish the coding process completely before you start doing something with the codes. Okay, typically you are starting from so you code based on what is in what you find in the data in the interview material. So you identify themes, and this is starts from looking at your codes. So you see which codes show some similarity, which fit together, which seem to be around the same theme and so on, and then you group them. So this is kind of the opposite way of from how I was talking about in terms of deductive approach to coding, but you will see examples of that method as well. And of course, then you keep refining the structure of your codes and checking out your propositions. So there is a lot of iteration and lots of parallel processes. Your coding and your data are constantly in interaction, and then once you start figuring out how to structure these, then again you are also constantly checking the propositions that you can come up with and so on. So here on the picture, I actually cut it out from the Saunders book. Okay, so this is about how you do the codes if it is starting from if you are using it in thematic analysis. So you can do it from the top, from the bottom, depending on what you see first in your data, because it's also possible that you identify something that you name redundancy. But then as you go further, you see that there is redundancy everywhere, and therefore it would make sense to distinguish different types of redundancy. So it can happen with breaking down, or you can figure it out the other way around, so that you start from the smaller ones and you start putting them together. These are all quite brief description. The thematic analysis is particularly long in the Saunders book, but I wanted to not spend that much time on it, so that we can cover more of these, because the purpose of this is not that you learn by heart every single method. The purpose is that you achieve sufficient familiarity that you can make your initial choices, and then you read more about those specific methods that seem to be of interest or potential interest to you.